How about them Buckeyes?
How about it? OH.
I-O. National champions.
What a night. What a night.
Oh my gosh.
It was so fun. It was so fun for all of us texting back and forth that night. You know what I mean? Like and my bet paid off, baby. I threw that big whopping $29 down on, when did I say I did it? Like December 2nd.
Right after they lost that team up north.
Yeah, right after they lost. I'm like, you know what? I'm throwing $29 down on this. Let's see what I threw it down on a OSU winning a natty. $29 bet paid out 160 bones for me. So
that's good foresight. You knew they were going to come out pissed off.
I'm like, you know what? Like, they're still going to get in. Like fuck, it's $29. Like, I'm going to throw $29 at this. Let's see what happens. They're going to get into a 12-team playoff.
It was a solid bet, and I can't believe the transformation from from that Michigan game until through the end of the season. And I hope we're not disappointing any of our Notre Dame fan listeners. I mean, much respect for, they almost came back and tied it. I mean,
and Scott Wolf, right? We both know Scott Wolf. Scott Wolf obviously went to Notre Dame. His wife is on like the Wall of Fame at Notre Dame. Like, his wife was a badass swimmer, and so like they have very deep, loving roots to Notre Dame, right? And I even texted Scott, like, hey man, like, sorry about that game, sorry how that turned out for you. You know what I mean? But like, I will say this: Scott has said this for years, and I guess I've never really appreciated, but like Monday night, I really, really watched it. Notre Dame, right? Like, Notre Dame and the service academies, they do not have shitheads on their team.
Yeah.
Like, there are certain programs that, let's be honest, they are known to have like pretty dirty dudes, or just to have like shitheads on their teams. Yeah. That entire game, like, there was a couple times, even in the first and second, where like Notre Dame dudes were helping like Ohio State dudes off the ground.
I saw that.
Yeah, like pat on the backs, pats on the helmet. And I'm like,
right.
They're good dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not many teams that do that nowadays.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I will say, don't get me wrong, I am over the moon happy that we got that dub. Had it not gone that way, I think Notre Dame is probably the only team I would have wanted it to go the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they seem like a bunch of good dudes. However, the natty comes where the natty belongs.
Man.
To the C bus.
To Buckeye country.
Yeah.
Buckeye Nation. All right. That was awesome. Like, nice way to cap off a long weekend, and honoring MLK on Monday, and then watching the Buckeyes take care of business.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm wondering, I heard it's a little chilly in your neck of the woods.
Dude, I have no clue. Listen, I know I've ran and stuff like this in the past, but candidly, because of stuff, it's been years since I have had to. Homie, it is. Let me see something right now. It is. All right, this will sound ridiculous as shit. It has drastically warmed up. It has warmed up double digits since earlier today. Wow. It is now a balmy 14 degrees.
Jesus.
It has a feel like of 0.
Oh.
Earlier today, I was talking to somebody. I'm like, oh yeah, what is it outside? I looked, it was 2 degrees. 2 man. with a feel like of negative 13.
Yep.
Like, it is. And I have a Jeep, right? And so I got to think it's just all metal. I was riding in a Jeep somewhere, and like,
just an ice box.
I went to where I was going. I went. Let's see what I do. I went from the Y, right, from the YMCA back to my house, which is 1 mile. The Y to my house is 1 mile in the Jeep. I fed my dogs real fast, and then I rode over to a taco joint where I sent you that picture from.
Oh yeah.
So like 1 mile from there, left the Jeep running. and then probably like 4 miles over to the taco joint. When I pulled into the taco joint parking lot, and I was still like hands still like did not warm up a drop.
Oh man,
bro, it is brutal cold.
I don't miss that. I'll tell you.
But do tell, what is the temperature out there in Pismo
today? It was a little. It warmed up today. It was 75 and sunny.
What's funny is that's almost too warm for me in the summer. In the winter, like
yeah, I went for a run earlier, and I was like, this is too hot. It's too hot right now.
Well, so how hot does it get in Pismo down in the sun? Like in the summertime, how bad is Pismo going to get for you?
I mean, at the most, like mid to high 70s.
Okay, so this was unseasonably hot for what you are right now.
Yeah. It's usually in the 60s. But yeah, it doesn't change too much really. But it does get warm in the summer though. But the fog, hopefully the fog will keep it cool. We haven't been here in the summer, so we don't have air conditioning. So, but anyway, all right. Well, let's dive into some ultra running news. That's why we're here. We have some race results to go over, a couple cool FKTs. Going to talk about the Ultra Running Magazine's top 3 world trail runners or ultra runners. And, because they don't normally do North America. We went over the top 10 for North America last episode. In this episode, we're going to cover their top 3. And this is the first time they've done this, but they did the top 3 ultra runners in the world, and we'll quickly go through FreeTrail's trail runners of the year. We're not going to go too in depth. We'll just list out the names because FreeTrail does it. It's not ultra runners, it's trail runners. So it's any distance, and it's not just North America; it's the whole world. So it really encompasses a wide range, and it has voting from, I think, 50 plus countries, and it's publicly sourced voting, I believe. So anybody can go in and vote.
It's all kinds of crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And the number 1 guy is interesting. We've talked about him on the episode for a few.
As I say, that's kind of funny. We're still talking about how it's not like, and then you're like, oh, but wait a second, that's actually a name that we'll all recognize, hopefully.
Yep. And then we're going to talk about, it's not ultra running related, but there was a half marathon record in Houston at the Houston Marathon, half marathon, a U.S. record. But there's an interesting twist to that story that we're going to talk about, and we're going to go over the Chipotle Strava segment challenge, which is super interesting. I didn't know about it until just recently. Jamil Curry is he's all in. He's he's balls deep on this thing. And then we're going to go over our 3 T's topic today. And,
it's just kind of interesting. The 3 T's this week is kind of interesting, but that'll be a good one.
Yep. It should be fun. So stick around to hear about that. And we'll start off with some race results, and I got to get the screen pulled up, but Hurt 100 was this weekend, and we talked about Hurt 100 last year, but for those of you who are newer to the show, Hurt 100 takes place in Honolulu, Hawaii, and it's put on by the Hawaiian ultra running team. It's a group, ultra running group over there in Honolulu, and they've been at this for a long time. Hurt 100 started in 2001.
Yeah.
So it's been going on for 24 years now. and 8 people finished the first race.
I was just going to say, yeah, when you scroll back in her history, I mean, it's still a really small race. Like, relatively speaking, it's still an extremely small race. When you scroll back to their first like dozen years, you know what I mean? It's hilarious how small it was. Like, it was like, damn, like you had to be in the no to get in on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, from the year it started, it was 8. Next, it was 12, then 13, then 19, then 17, 23. Then they had a banner year in 2007 with 39 finishers, 21, 43, 47, 32. So, yeah, it's grown a little bit over the years. And this year had the most finishers of any year with 85.
Yeah.
And her 100 is a very tough race for multiple reasons. I believe it's 5 loop. Yeah, 5 20-mile loops. It's extremely rooty, like one of the rootiest races that you could ever run.
Like, insane. Like, it's funny that you're talking, like, even on the photo that is on that, like, even there, like, that's a wildly clear path for this race. And even in that, you're like, oh, look, there's at least 3 routes I could trip on pretty easily if I was tired. Like, this course is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this video, which I think we played some of last year, it shows some of the it goes over the story and everything, but I think later on it does show some of the routes, but I can't seem to find it now. But anyways, just take our word for it.
You're just going to believe. Oh, right there, right there, I think.
Yeah, let me hit play there. But so anyways, it is 5 loops, 20-mile loops. And not only is it extremely rooty, is rooty even a word? I don't know. Not only is there a lot of routes, it's
rootalicious.
It's extremely muddy. Even on the dry years, it's very muddy. So
I really love the idea of that video playing in the background while we talk about it. So what's funny is while we talk about things that make this race really hard, we've only talked about like the terrain aspects of it, right? Like muddy, rooty, this kind of stuff. Oh, by the way, this thing is it's breaking news. It's Hawaii. It's insanely humid.
Yeah.
Like I've seen pictures and videos come out on Instagram of people running this race, and it's not raining, and it looks like it had been raining on them the entire time. Like, it is nuts. Like, this race does not make sense to me.
Yeah. So this one, well, god dang, it's blurry. You can see in these pictures here, they're just like it's like a creature of roots that will just suck you in.
Yeah.
But anyways, and there's a ton of elevation gain as well. There's like well over 20,000 feet of climbing. I know that.
I just can't wrap my head around it.
So yeah, very tough race. Let's take a look at some results for this year. Nate Jacqua, 21 hours and 45 minutes for first place. Tyler Juza, 22:13 for second. Riley Robertson, 22:33 for third on the podium for the men. Alyssa Clark got first for the ladies, 5th overall in 23:26. And you know, she's a pretty elite ultra runner. Andrea Taras, 25:51 for second, and Candace Burt, who puts on the 200-milers, Bigfoot, Tahoe, and Moab. She came in third.
Destination Trail.
Destination Trail, yeah. She actually runs HURT every year, I think.
Yeah. I think I feel like she's maybe even won it once before or something like that. She's an extremely fast runner. I mean, she just took third here. So, I mean, like she's
so she's pretty accomplished. And she got third with the time of 28 hours and 29 minutes. Third place with 28 hours. So, it's a tough race. Okay. Well, that was Hurt. Next up, the Coldwater Rumble, which is an Aravaipa race.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very popular early season 100-miler in Goodyear, Arizona. It's in the desert trails in the foothills of the Sierra Estrella mountain range. And many of the trails are reworked. There's several new miles of trail, and there's 5 20-mile loops for the 100-miler. They also have a 60K and a 100K. The 100-miler is the main event. It's been going on for 11 years now. It's a small race, though. If you look at the 100-miler, not too many people want to really dive into 100 miles this early in the
by their standard, yeah.
So 62 finishers this year, which was like the second most finishers for the 100 that they've had in the 11 years it's been going on. Nathan Brown first, 15 hours and 50 minutes, completely blew away the competition.
Yeah.
Second place, Tanner Honan, 18 hours and 14 minutes. Elizabeth Snell was first for the ladies and third overall, 19:27. And look who's third place rounding out the podium for the men. The speed goat himself.
Oh, speed goat.
Carl Meltzer.
Still throwing it down.
Awesome to see, man. He's just a warrior.
Yeah.
Colleen Miracle is second for the ladies, 21:52, and third for the women, Ashley Campbell, 25:12.
This isn't a bad first time 100-miler either. Like, it's not wild.
Yeah, so it's 5 loops. I haven't really looked at the elevation gain or anything like that. It's in the foothills, so I'm guessing it's somewhat moderate. Do they have anything on that on the website?
Yeah, if you go to a website and you got to scroll all the way down and then go to course description, it has some stuff laid out for you. But it's not too awful crazy. There's like a little squiggly line that shows the uppies and downies. It's not crazy.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
The 100-mile has 7,900 feet of gain. So that's pretty mild. That would be a good first time 100,
Yeah.
If you could train, it's possible it could be hot. I mean, even though it's January, and it could be freezing cold at night, dude. I saw the video of Jamil Curry at night doing his Strava, Chipotle thing, and he was freezing, like completely bundled up.
I would actually say it's not that it could be freezing. I would bet you bottom dollar at night you are cold, like straight up you're cold. But it just feels like it's a good. I don't know. Like that might be kind of a cool course to run for your first one, and it's kind of neat. Like this is speaking of you rocking a Black Canyon shirt. Black Canyon's like north of Phoenix, right? Like up in those mountains.
Yeah.
Well, this is, because it's Goodyear, that kind of area. It is southeast of Phoenix, southeast of Phoenix. So you get a different view, you get a different place to run. I don't know. This might be kind of a cool one to do sometime.
Yeah, I agree. And in the 100K, Lucy Rathbun, first place female and first place overall, 9 hours and 20 minutes. Congrats, Lucy. Way to go. Matthew Bradner was first for the men, second overall, 9:30. Andrew James, second overall for the men, or second for the men, third overall, 11:08. Royce Hampton, third for the men, fourth overall, and 12:04. Tanya Keys, second for the ladies, 12:38. And Amanda Woodruff, 13:21, rounded out the podium for the women. 60K, I'll just go over the winners. Davis Gilbert was first, 5 hours and 33, and Susan Reed for the ladies in 6:15, and she got third overall. So pretty cool. Oh, also at this race, Bronco Billy started the race, but he rolled his ankle 10 days before the race and did aggressive rehab, 6 easy runs, hoped it was good. And then went from 1 to 2 out of 10 at the mile 20 to 7 to 8 by mile 40. Limited mobility. So he ended up pulling the plug. 42-mile day, but even the elites have to succumb to injuries once in a while. Like,
gotta know when to fold them.
Yeah. And on another note, somebody that did finish is Andrew Glaze. No surprise that he finished a 100-miler, but I was just thinking about this the other day. So he probably has like 270, I'm just guessing, straight weeks of 100 miles or more. And I'm just thinking to myself, sometimes I have a hard time just getting out for back-to-back 4-mile runs.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine facing like, oh, I need to get, 20 tomorrow and 15 on Sunday, like week in and week out and entering all these hundreds. And the guy just, he just keeps going, man. I don't get it.
I could have swore I saw, it's really interesting you say that. I could have sworn I saw him just post that he missed a 100-mile week. But I could be wrong about it. I don't see it now.
I don't think so, because he did it was like a April Fool's joke.
Oh, maybe that's like an old version of that or something, maybe.
Yeah. All right, here's his post from 1 week ago. 108 miles this week.
Woo! 108 miles. So
let's see. And that was his 249 weeks in a row. God. So almost 200. Well, now it's 250. Now it's 250 weeks in a row that he's done 100 miles or more in the week. So, and even when he's DNF'd a few 100-milers.
Yeah.
And still had to like go out the next day to finish off his mileage to get the 100 miles. So
yeah, anyway. He's had some rough ones. Yeah, dude is amazing. He really is.
Yeah, and I know he's a bit of a controversial guy. Like, he has a lot of haters, but still, it doesn't take away from his accomplishments.
It's funny. I don't get the haters on him though, because he's not. I mean, it's not like he's a dick. I don't know. Maybe I'm such a raging dick. I don't recognize him being a dick. I don't find that he's like.
I don't see that either.
He's not.
I see him as just being like friendly guy in the community.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, he kind of strikes me as like kind of an old school ultra guy, where he's like, "Hey, embrace the suck. Get out here." Like
his motto is "Smile or you're doing it wrong."
Yeah, smile. Try hard shit. You know what I mean? Like do hard things. Like he's kind of an old school ultra dude. Like I don't quite get. I mean, the only way that he's not an old school ultra dude is the fact that he has a ton of Instagram stuff out there. I mean, that's the only thing that's not old school about him. But like the mentality is still there. I don't know. I dig him. I like him. I would be interested to hear. I'd be interested to hear if we have any listeners that don't love him or like have a vibe. I'd love to hear the 2 cents, and like maybe it's just something I'm open to hearing some criticism about him.
Yeah, and this is Andrew Glaze. We're talking about. He's a firefighter, lives in Redlands, California, and he's a big presence on social media for ultra running. We know somebody that is a big hater of him, and I'm not going to announce it on the show. I'll talk to you after.
Oh, I'm excited. Oh man, I'm excited. Okay. All right.
Anyway, next race, long haul 100. Long haul 100 in Dade City, Florida, and this is a great first time event. but it's great for veterans as well. It's in Colt Creek State Park in Lakeland, Florida. And this race has been going on since 2011, and it's grown. This year they had the most finishers ever that they've ever had in 149. And I'm wondering, does this race go on the Florida Trail? No, it's six loops of 16.7 miles.
Ooh,
so it must all take place in that park. Oops. So anyway, that's the company that puts it on is A1 Ultra Events. So they have a bunch of events down south there.
Their big bragging right. I mean, candidly, the big bragging right is it is Florida's only Western States qualifier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're in Florida and you need a Western States qualifier, we happen to know a race for you.
Is the 100K a qualifier too, or just a 100-miler?
I think just a 100-miler is.
Okay.
100-mile and 100 furlongs running event in Florida. Yeah, I think it's just a 100-miler.
Yeah. Looks like Harvey Lewis has done it. There's a picture of him on their website.
You can look at the winning times, and this is a quick race.
Yeah, I don't think there's much elevation gain in Florida. No. Rob King was first, 14 hours, 26 minutes. James Ebert, 16:46 second. Jonathan Keir, 17:18 for third. Lone Vo was first for the women and 7th overall in 18:12. Jennifer Russo, we've heard her name a few times. Wasn't she the backyard ultra? She went pretty far in that backyard. Yeah, right here, Biggs. She was in Biggs. She was in the main World Championships, and she did 195 miles there. She got second in 1933, and for the women, and Joanne Fisher third, 1950. For the ladies. So congrats to everybody there. Oh, there's not 100K. For some reason I thought there was 100K. It's only a 100-miler.
Well, it's the 100 furlongs.
Oh.
They have a thing called a 100-miler and a 100 furlong.
There used to be a 100K.
Yeah.
But they didn't have many people in that. So.
Yeah.
The 100 furlongs.
Do you see what I'm saying? Whatever
it's like 12.5 miles. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, cool event. And this is the time of year for Florida races. They're all going on right now.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
Well, shit. Hold on, real fast. Let's see. How far south? I don't know. I don't know my Florida geography really well. So this is just north of Tampa, right?
Lakeland.
Yeah, so they're north of Tampa. They're kind of sort of dead west of Orlando. Okay. As I say, because I got some folks in Tallahassee and they got snow. So
that's right. I heard about that.
You know what I mean? So these guys aren't far enough south that they did. But I mean, shit, dude, you go down there and you're probably okay, I'm gonna have myself a nice 50, 60 degree run, or 60, 70 degree run. It was 40 degrees in Tampa. Yeah. So they might have had a rough go by their definition.
That's possible. Yeah, it looks like this is in the interior. So
yeah,
I imagine it gets warm in there. Or it can get warm. But it could be cold if that Arctic air moved down like you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. Next race is the Tsali Ultra. I'm guessing that's how you would pronounce it. Tsali, Tsali. And this is in Almond, North Carolina. It's been going on 14 years, sells out right away. It's in the Nantahala National Forest mountains of Western North Carolina. Some of the most well-groomed and breathtaking trails in the world, stretching along scenic Fontana Lake. that kind of catches my attention. It's like some of the most well-groomed trails in the world, and in the mountains in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Expansive views of Fontana Lake and the Great Smoky Mountains. It sounds like a pretty awesome place for a race.
Yeah. If you click on website there, it takes you to Ultra Sign Up, but then on Ultra Sign Up, if you click website again, it takes you to their website.
Wow.
That is a beautiful picture right there. That is amazing.
Wow.
So, and like also, like, you know how it's kind of funny, because it said this is Western North Carolina. Like, this is like Western North Carolina. Like, this is like, like, a lot of people think, oh, I got to Asheville, I'm in Western North Carolina now. No, this is like outside. This is like an hour west of Asheville. Like, this is way out there.
Almond, North Carolina.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, like, it is still really far out from, like, it is way out there. Like, I only know.
Yeah. Okay. It's between Charlotte. It's north of Atlanta. It's between Charlotte and Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean,
it's in the mountains. I would love to see that. I would love to see that area, though. The trails looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I am pretty intrigued by this. When they say it sells out immediately, I am really intrigued by, like, what's immediate? Like, how fast are we talking this thing sells out?
Yeah, I bet some of our listeners are familiar with this race. So
it's kind of funny, because I was actually wondering if Costume Chick might know this, because I mean, I know she's a South Carolina lady, but still, you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Oh, I'm sure she does. But she actually ran a different race this weekend that we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
So, wait, I didn't go over the results for Tsali. So this is a 50K. Been going on since 2009. There was 85 finishers. Canyon Woodward was first for the men. Canyon Woodward, I believe, won Canyon's 100K, I think. Yep. Canyon's.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the 100-miler. He won Canyon's 100-miler last year. The dude named Canyons won Canyons.
Taking down Canyons. And then he ran Black Canyon.
He just loves the canyons.
He's got a brand built.
And he got first at the Siskiyou Out and Back in Ashland. So pretty impressive runner. He got third at Tsali last year, and he got first at Tsali this year. Allie Cooper got second overall, first for the ladies in 4 hours and 38. Porter Burgess got third overall, and she got second for the ladies in 4:41. Sam Fulbright, second for the men, fourth overall, 4:54. Rachel Doxey, third for the women and fifth overall, and Hank Hepperly, third for the men and sixth overall. And Rachel went 4:57 and Hank 5:09. And the next race is Dark Anchor in Savannah, Georgia.
There we go.
I love Savannah. It's such a cool city. I partied there in my 20s a few times. Even when I was 18 or 19, we were down there for a night, spring break. Drove from Myrtle Beach down to Savannah and back to visit a friend.
Yeah.
But anyway, Savannah's a cool area, and this race, Dark Anchor, it's a 34-hour race. So you just see how far you can go in 34 hours, and it's around let me go to their website. It's a 3.5-mile loop, soft and runnable, designed so you don't need a crew or pacer. There's an aid station set up at the start finish. And you have to touch the Pepsi machine on every lap. Very simple and highly manageable. It's about community. So, and 176 finishers, like quote unquote finishers. But Renee Krickenberger she was first for the ladies and first overall and 100 with 119 and tied Michelle Goldberg. Well, Michelle Goldberg, she was second overall and she was second for the ladies and tied for first overall. And Richard Higgins was first for the men and also tied for first overall with 119 miles. So Lisa Evans got third with 115 miles, third for the ladies, I mean. And Stan King, second for the men, and Mac McComas, third for the men. But they tied for seventh overall with 101.5. So. And Costume Chick was out there. She had on a pirate's costume.
Of course.
There. Yeah. Looked like the female version of Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Next race is Swamp Stomper. I thought that
great
was
name.
Yes.
Great name.
That's why it's in here.
Yeah.
If you have a cool name for a race, chances are you'll make the show. So Swamp Stomper is in Millington, Tennessee, and they have a 50K. It's in the Shelby Forest State Park, the Meeman Shelby Forest State Park. It's been going on since 2006. This is the 20th year. 99% single track. The 25K is an out and back with 1,500 feet of gain. The 50K is a double out and back with 3,000 feet of gain. 9 hours cut off for the 50K. And there were 17 finishers in the 50K. Ryan Davis was first, 5 hours 20. Hannah Stoking was she finished 50 seconds later, so she got second overall, first for the ladies. Kyle Grady for the men was second, and he was third overall, 5:39. Reed Fancher, 6:12, rounding out the podium for the men. Meg Duke, second for the ladies, 8th overall, and 6:47. And Sarka Pechikova was third for the ladies in 7:13. Okay. Well,
dude, that looks like a pretty tough little race.
Yeah, in Tennessee, it could be technical.
Dude, if you go to their website, it just ain't take you to Ultra sign up. But
yeah,
check those thumbnails. This race looks like
some vines and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like,
oh yeah,
like, yeah,
that's Tennessee technical.
Yeah, I mean, like there's some like nice little like short steep little climbs. Like there's this old school like railroad steps. Shit, we'll throw some railroad ties down for you real fast, like the roots. Like that thing looks like it's.
That's totally Tennessee technical. Yeah. There's a nice section of trail right there.
Yeah, I know. You probably get that for like that's legitimately probably like 400 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you just get a little teaser.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, I can finally feel my legs. Climb starts again.
All right, let's dive into the FKTs section.
Yeah.
This is a cool one. Because the rim to rim to rim in Grand Canyon, super popular. I've been to Death Valley twice, and there's some high mountains there, right? Telescope Peak is way up there. It's like over 12,000 feet up, I think. And then on the other side, which I've hiked on both sides, I haven't gone all the way up to Telescope Peak, but I've hiked on both sides. And it's a big climb on either side of that rim. I think it's probably like 6,000 or 7,000 feet of climb on the other side. Where Badwater Basin, where you can go to visit Badwater Basin and climb up from there. So this guy, Jason Hadrith, or no, not Jason Hadrith. He's the one that first did rim to rim in Death Valley, but Shaun Burke said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
And he went rim to rim to rim in Death Valley, which it is extremely hard. And he did it self-supported so he didn't have a crew. This was 50 miles and 19,000 feet of climbing.
15 miles, 19,000. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, going up, tagging the peak at Telescope Peak at 11,043 feet above sea level, dropping down to the basin, Badwater Basin, which is minus 262 feet below sea level. Or no, minus 282 feet below sea level. And then climbing up some class 3 and 4 up the Black Mountains on the other side to Dante's View Trailhead, which I have been up hiking by Dante's View at 5,475 feet above sea level. So I'm guessing he started up at Dante's View, went down, across, up to Telescope Peak, down, back across, and back up to Dante's View for 19,000 feet of climbing and 50 miles. Regardless, this is an incredible feat. And Shaun Burke did it in 17 hours and 37 minutes. For comparison, the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim is around 46 miles, or depending on which route you go, could be 43 or 44 miles. And it's just under 10,000 feet of climbing, or maybe just over 10,000 feet of climbing, just depending on where you go. This
so
is
he added on
4 more miles and like 9,000 more feet of climbing. So yeah, incredible. And the rim to rim FKT, that's just one rim to rim, is set by 3 people together. And Jason Hadrith was one of them. And they did it in 17 hours and 50 minutes. So the time it took them to do rim to rim, he did rim to rim to rim in Death Valley.
He did twice the distance in only 50 more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Not even 50 minutes. No, wait, what am I talking about?
No, he
did it faster.
Yeah, he did it 13 minutes faster.
Yeah. Yeah. Good God.
Death Valley is one of the most unique and coolest places I've ever been in my life. I highly recommend going there in the winter months. In the summer, it's just crazy, crazy hot. But it is awesome. It's like you're on Mars or something. It's really cool.
Hold on for a second. Like, look at the one picture. Go look at the picture where they're biting the. Okay.
Oh, Telescope Peak. Yep. There's snow up there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, there's something else I was trying to figure out, but what am I?
Oh, if you look at our backdrop here on our video, that's Badwater Basin. That I took that picture, our backdrop. I took that at Badwater Basin.
So, all right. So what threw me for a loop was that Jason Hardath submitted this on behalf of Shaun Burke.
Okay.
But toggle through this real fast.
Yeah, so this is a parking area up by the Dante's View. That's where I parked to do a hike up there. And this is from the floor, the valley floor.
What peak are you looking at there, you think?
That's Telescope Peak, I'm pretty sure. Looking at Telescope Peak.
Yeah.
Because there's snow up there. And this is a window into the universe. So this is up by the Dante's View part. And there's Telescope Peak.
That's the picture that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I was trying to, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but when I zoomed in, I was like, wait a second.
The valley floor is down there.
Yeah. And so is that a picture of Shaun?
I don't think so.
Or is that just a random picture of somebody else?
I think that's That's just got to be a random picture of somebody else, because that's a female, I think.
Right, and so that's what threw me for a loop. Is Shaun a female?
Oh. No, because it's a male. Oh, it doesn't say male.
Wait,
yeah, it does say. It does say male. It is male, self-supported.
All right, and so I was like, wait a second, hold on, and then I got confused because then I was like, damn it, I am all over the place on this. I'm like,
yeah, that is confusing. I'm not sure why they put a random picture of somebody that didn't do the FKT.
That's what I was like. I am completely lost.
The other one was a Oahu Circumnavigation, which is it's all paved, I think, or mostly paved. It's 138 miles around the island Oahu, and it's one of the Hawaiian islands. And Alyssa Clark, who we just talked about, who got third at Hurt, or second or third at Hurt, or did she get first? Whatever. She was on the podium at Hurt.
Yeah.
She holds the female supported FKT for this route. But the person that just said it is Matthew Matta. He said an unsupported male unsupported FKT is the only person to do it unsupported in 1 day and 20 hours. And that means that he had to carry all his food with him.
Yeah.
And he had to use public water sources, right? Unsupported is like the strictest of the three versions of FKTs. But it was all paved, and he did it in like 44 hours, I guess. 1 day and 20 hours. So that sounds painful, and I don't think I would be interested in doing that at all.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild one.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to some news, because we got some fun stuff to talk about, and we're already behind our goal. Our goal here. We're gonna go over, no doubt. Connor Mantz took down the U.S. half marathon record at the Houston Marathon and Half Marathon over the weekend. He beat Ryan Hall's time from 2007. Ryan Hall's time was 59 minutes and 43 seconds. Connor threw down 59 minutes and 17 seconds. So crazy fast time for a half marathon. But here's the thing. Connor didn't get first place in the Houston Marathon. Even though he set the U.S. record, Connor got second place. But it was sort of a controversial finish to this. And I'm going to play this YouTube. First of all, if you see the people holding the finish line banner, they're like so close together. Like they didn't expect two people to be coming at the same time, right? And the guy that did win is, let me see if I can go back to his name. I can't find it, but the guy that did win, I think they say it in this video. He kind of does a hip check, or he boxes him out right at the end. Oh, shoot.
Will he be edged out at the finish? Jamal Yimmer falls back.
This is the finish line from this year's Houston Half Marathon. A nail-biting finish with two athletes finally separating themselves from the other runners over the final 200 meters. For the previous 59 minutes, these world-class distance runners had been cranking out 4-minute and 30-second miles, blazing the streets of Houston like madmen possessed.
Insane.
But now it finally came down to this. And despite what you may have heard about this finish, this is what actually happened come the end of this year's Houston Half Marathon.
Will he be edged out at the finish? Jamal Yimmer falls
Look at how
back.
close.
We have side by side. close to
0.04 seconds
the
difference.
Aramco Houston Matt half marathon. What a stunning finish, John.
Yeah, and he would have been. I'm trying to look up the year. It's been like decades since the Americans won this race outside the U.S. Championship.
Coming in first in this race was Adisu Gobena from Ethiopia, and finishing less than 1/10 of a second behind was Connor Mance from the United States. Now, both athletes were given times of 59 minutes and 17 seconds, which equates to an overall pace of 4:31 per mile. But because of this box-out strategy at the end, Gobena was able to down Mance by just 0.04 seconds.
So, yeah, a little bit of controversy, maybe, but, you know, he still got the American half marathon record. Impressive feat nonetheless.
All right, so like, do you think what happened is legal or illegal?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not aware of any rules that say that you can't box out.
You know who would be the perfect person to weigh in on this?
Who's that?
Is Lord Possum himself. Because you guys think like he ran at Mark Carroll, because Mark Carroll ran at a extremely competitive level. Like that dude, like, you know, if you can get enough booze in him and get him talking, where he'll swallow a little humble pie and he'll get to talking about some of the shit he's like, dude has ran at some next level, uber elite level shit. And so I'd be interested to hear what his, like, because he understands tactics. Like he's extremely intelligent in running tactics. So I'd be interested to get his 2 cents on if this is legal or not.
It would be. We should look into getting him on the show. I have experience with over serving Mark. We were both crewing at Woodstock the one year, and I brought a whole bunch of growlers.
Yeah.
And of craft beer, of like Drippa double rice IPA.
Yep.
From Coonan Brothers. It's all good.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. So let's quickly go over the ultra runners of the world.
Top 3.
Top 3 ultra runners of the world, according to Ultra Running Magazine. We did number 3 last episode, Vincent Bulliard, who won UTMB. He's the Hoka shoe engineer. And Jasmine Paris, obviously the first woman to ever complete Barkley marathons, and a well-deserved number 3 trail runner of the world. Courtney DeWalter, number 2 for the women. She set a course record at Hard Rock and Mount Fuji 100, winning them both. I believe she also won like Transvolcania or something like that. She won 5 ultras in different countries on 3 continents. So
the funny thing about her taking number 2 worldwide is the fact that she took she did. Yeah. She took number 2 in the US, right?
Yeah.
But took number 2 worldwide. So like, hold on, how did Katie Scheid not take? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like, how did another American be out? It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, she did get number 1.
Dumbass. Yeah.
Hayden Hawks was number 2, and Hayden Hawks, he was number 1 for North America.
Yes.
He was number 2 for world, and Matthew Bond was first for the men. And Matthew set a men's 6-day record of 1,045 kilometers. That's 649 miles.
Come on, like, whoa.
He broke Yannis Kouros's 6-day record and set a Belgian 24-hour record with 275 miles. We did talk about him in previous episodes. And he's a record-setting endurance cyclist and open water swimmer. He lives on the Belgian coast. And then Katie Scheid took first for the women for the world. And we all know what she did. She won UTMB and Western States and set a record at UTMB, course record. So, and she won Canyons 100K, which is extremely competitive. That's how she got her golden ticket. FreeTrail, the FreeTrail ultrarunners of the world. This is Dylan Bowman's media company for trail running. Great podcast, by the way. Great YouTube video content, and they put on some great races as well. The Big Alta 50K and some others that he's in conjunction with Daybreak Racing, I believe. Anyways, his first place was the guy that won the Golden Trail World Series, who also had a little boxing out controversy, if I'm mistaken, at Olympic Village in Lake Tahoe.
Well, he did. Wasn't there two? Wasn't it twice he had issues? Like
boxing out there, and then he had to sprint to the finish and the race for that. And there wasn't a boxing out issue.
Well, okay.
Like maybe kind of curved in the lane. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, and his name is he's from Morocco, and it's El Hussein Olaziou, and he had a hell of a year in the shorter distance trail races. And Katie Scheid won for the women for final standings. Courtney second, Hayden Hawk second for the men, Joyce Najiro third for the women, Rachel Drake fourth for the women, Ruth Croft fifth for the women. Ruth Croft seemed to run every race this year.
We're always talking about it. Yeah.
Tony McCann sixth, Jasmine Paris seventh, Joylyn Kepchenego eighth, and Fuzhou Jing ninth, and Judith Wider 10. And for the men, third place was Patrick Kipgano, and he was the other guy.
He's the other guy
in the
right?
World Trail World Series. That was battling with El Hussein in those races that we were looking at. David Roche fourth, Killian was fifth, and Killian, I think he just competed in maybe one race, but he did set that FKT on.
Yeah.
Like he did all those summits in the Alps. David Sinclair sixth, Eli Hemming seventh, Walmsley eighth, Ludo Pomeray was ninth, and Vincent Bouillard was 10. I thought, man, I don't know. I think Ludo should be ahead of Walmsley, in my opinion. He won Hard Rock and set the course record at Hard Rock. And he got, I think, didn't he podium, or maybe he got fifth at UTMB.
It's also interesting to see. Jornet up there, kind of high.
Yeah, well, he did win.
I mean?
He did win. Was it Sierra Zinal?
He won that. He won that. Like, there was that one race that you and I talked about that we were laughing about him running up the hill. We're like, holy shit, look at him go up the hill.
Yeah, I think it was Sierra Zinal.
Yeah, but like that was, and again, this is trail running. This isn't limited to ultra running, so it's a little bit harder to wrap your head around. I'll be honest, it's a little bit harder for me to wrap my head around. It's like maybe like they're weighing that heavily on that, but like it's just weird to think like. It's also weird to talk about Jornet like being, oh, that's too high for him. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's an interesting year for sure. Like I don't know, those are always interesting ones for me.
Yeah, and we could read about it. What, he got fifth? So this is what they're saying. FKTs are not considered part of Trail Runner of the Year, but Killian needs a little extra kudos for his FKT of the Alpine Connections project. Okay, so he's a good VK guy, vertical K, trail marathon. Okay, they're just talking about him. So in Killian fashion, they talk about his FKT. And, Zagama, that was the race he did. Zagama. he won Zagama for the 11th time. Oh, and then he went to Sierra Zinal, and he won that as well. So that's pretty stout.
Yeah,
those are two highly competitive races. I forgot that he did both of those. So yeah, that makes sense, I guess. All right, let's get on to the let's see what's next. Okay. This is fun. So 1 year ago, Strava teamed up with Chipotle, and I'm sure everybody knows what Chipotle is, but if you don't, by some odd chance, it's I wouldn't say fast food, but it's a burrito place that it borders on fast food, but it's a little healthier than fast food, I'd say. It's a burrito place, and they have burrito bowls, and it's delicious. And they actually modeled themselves after the mission style burrito in San Francisco, which I took you over to the mission to get mission style burritos one time.
Legit.
Yeah. So anyways, Strava teamed up with Chipotle last year to do a Strava segment challenge. And the segments are, I believe, in front of Chipotle locations. So they're usually like 0.1 to 0.3 miles in length. Usually it's a block or two. And they did it they rolled it out in 6 cities. And Columbus was one of them.
Was it?
It was. Columbus was one of the original 6. And then it was so popular, in fact, that this year they did 25 cities. And it's for the month of January. And whoever runs the segment, there's a segment in front of the one Chipotle in each of these 25 cities. Whoever runs that segment the most times in the month of January wins free Chipotle burrito bowls. They call them lifestyle bowls. I don't know even know what that is, but you win a free lifestyle bowl, one a week for a year. So you get 52 free lifestyle bowls if you do the most segments. So, and I found out about this because Jameel Curry, I follow him on Instagram, and he was posting about doing this. And actually, I follow him on Strava is where I first learned about it, because I'm looking at his runs on Strava, and I'm like, why the hell is he just running up and down this block? Like, maybe he's, I know he got into Western States, so, and maybe he's short on like time. So maybe he just goes out and runs up and down the block by his work or something. Like, I don't know. But he's doing the Tempe segment, and he's in a battle with this other guy. They're going back and forth. But I'm just going to play this video from Jameel's his Run Steep Get High.
It's so funny.
What Run Steep channel, which is
make sure share the right up so you can.
Yep.
All by running. This could be the greatest sporting competition that you've never heard of. Prize 52 free lifestyle bowls from Chipotle. The arena, this 300-meter of brick sidewalk behind me here in Tempe, Arizona. The challenge to become the Strava local legend of this segment. Whoever can run it the most by the end of January.
1 year ago, Chipotle teamed up with Strava to host a 6-city local legend competition. This took place in Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Denver, and Columbus. And this was kind of insane. The winner of Washington, D.C. did 1,345 of these 300-meter segment repeats. The challenge is back. It's now expanded to 25 cities. And in addition to...
So if you saw in those cities, it was like 8,000 participants, 10,000 participants. Like, this thing is wildly popular.
Yeah.
The local legends in each town. There's also a city challenge where cities are competing against each other.
Oh, it's loading. So cities are competing against each other, and the city with the most miles, combined miles, gets they get a special prize. can't remember what it is. I'm having loading issues on this, but anyway, so Jamil and this other guy, he runs down the competition in this video that he thinks he's going to have. But they're the only two that are like super far out there, and they're neck and neck. And I'll take you to the Chipotle Tempeh segment, and I got to log in to see this.
So, yeah.
Okay. It's not too far
it was
away.
A buy one
I
get
heard
one
about
free
this
for the
on
city
January
that racks
1st
up the most miles.
and figured I had to give it a shot.
This is the
Are you ready to see your brand on TV?
And it went to an ad, but let's move on. So I can go to this segment challenge right here. This is the leaderboard for the Chipotle Tempeh segment. And as of right now, Jamil is in the lead with 816.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at his Strava every day, and I'm like, why did he just run 20 miles on one block? And
because I'm looking at his Strava now too, and it's like today he did 37 kilometers on one block.
Right.
He did a 37K on one, and like
on a Wednesday,
5K, and it's you're right, but you can absolutely tell where he lives and or works because they're all originating and ending at the same spot. But here's what's funny: like the Instagram thing that you sent is really, really funny.
Oh yeah. So he runs into the other guy that he's battling with. Oh wait,
I didn't see that one. I was looking at the day 21.
This is Kevin. He's my main competition. Yesterday, I took a rest day, 6 miles. He ran a 50K. Competition's heating up. This is day 22, trying to win free Chipotle for a year. So far this month, I've run 278 miles. This is Kevin. He's my main competition. Yesterday, I took a rest day, 6 miles. He ran a 50K. Competition.
So he ran into the guy. That was posted today, actually.
I like the fact that on the day 21, right? One of the comments on it was, imagine being all the other trying to win and getting absolutely crushed by the guy who owns and operates like 10 businesses.
Yeah, I saw that comment too.
Like, what a great comment. Like,
it is.
What else have you got to do? This dude's running 10 businesses and dominating you in this challenge.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So second place is that Kevin Russ guy that he just ran into. And Kevin currently has 734 segments that he's done, and Jamil was 816. I don't know if Kevin's uploaded today's segments or not yet, but it should be fun to follow along and see.
Yeah, it's pretty
how
good.
This plays out.
That's pretty good.
And you can go to other cities' Chipotle segments, and you can view the segment details. You can see the leaderboard. I mean, it's pretty fun. I kind of wish I had one near me. Not that I would do any good because I'm out of shape right now, but anyways, the segment is 0.22 miles for the Tempeh one. And if you think about it, you have to run double the miles because you have to go back, and it only counts for one way. It doesn't count both ways. So you run 0.22 miles, then you got to run back unless you get a ride or something, and then you got to run 0.22 miles and then run back, 0.22 miles, run back. So you're only counting half of your mileage.
Yeah.
But the miles doesn't really matter except for the city challenge,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Well, that is all for news.
Wrap it up with some triple T here for us.
All right. So we're triple T tips, tricks, and thoughts. We still need to get a intro
like
for this
sound
segment.
Effect, yeah.
Tips, tricks, thoughts. Yeah. And our topic today is best way to carry water. And this could actually probably be split up. This could be split up into, different, what's the best vest or what's the best waist belt, but I mean, we'll try our best to kind of wrap the vest or, the best carrying device plus the best carrying vessel into this. So you can go first if you want to give us your thoughts. Tips.
So I have thoughts. I find this one to be maybe the most like a lot of running, a lot of ultra running is like very much like what works for you and your body, right? I find this one to be like the quintessential of that. And so, if you're like, hey, what's the best way to carry water? Is it if I'm looking at vest and packs, is it the bottles in the front? Is it the bottles in the back? I mean, here's what's wild. For me personally, I think it's like where does not rub you the most, right? And like where doesn't drive you nuts?
Yeah.
Because like if I have anything on my lower back, that is going to get tore up. It is going to get annihilated. Now, I will say I found a vest from it is Aspire. Are you hip to Aspire vest? So they have a vest that the water bottle
I wear Ultra Spire.
Yes, that's yeah. They have a vest that like it has like metallic things you have to kind of click open and you slide in, but they sit really low. So like I happen to have found that I really, really like those. Cause like I will say though, the water bottles in your chest are a little annoying. So yeah. I love my Ultra Spire where now here's the bad thing, right? If you have poles, if you're tired and it's late in a race, you've lost a little bit of mobility. It can be a little bit of a pain in the ass to get them in and out.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird thing where like, you could ask me tomorrow, where do you prefer it? And I'm like, oh, definitely on the chest. Now, here's something I will live and die on this hill. This is the one that I can damn near fight somebody on. It is the hard. It's the hard bottles versus the damn flex, like the squishy one. Dude, I cannot wrap my head around those stupid ass squishy ones. I think those are the most problematic, pain in the ass things to get in and out when they're full. They're a pain in the ass. They're even more of a pain in the ass to get in and out when they're half empty. Like I want to find the engineer from all these vest companies. I was like, you know what we need? Soft flasks. And I want to fight that person. I want to find them in an alley and I want to physically fight that person. Like it makes no sense. I need someone to like evidently educate me on those. So for me, it's hard flask all day, every day. And then as far as like on your chest or on your back, candidly, it's what works best for you. And then like I do see like you're asking like, hey, like handhelds or stuff. For me, if I'm doing a 50K or less, I guess kind of depends on how hot it is. I guess there's a couple variables. Like I will say I am probably not the most intelligent person because I will run with a handheld for way too far and then rely on like water refills. Like I will do, like I'm not the smartest when it comes to that. So I do love a good handheld. But again, if you're going to do handheld, you better not be wanting to use trekking poles or you're going to look like a damn idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. Or if you have to carry a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And so it is funny because like if you're doing handhelds, right, and also you want to do a gel or something like that, it can be a little. So I do love him. Like Ronnie Delosier is exclusively a handheld dude. You know what I mean? Like he carries refills in his pack, but he runs handhelds. So I net hard bottles, chest or on the lower back. For me, it's either I don't love bladders. I can't stand bladders. Can't stand them. I know there's a little secret of turning it upside down and sucking the air out so it doesn't swish around in your vest, right? I get it. There's that little hint. But kind of sort of same thing. I also always think about this. When I come into an aid station and I give these beautiful volunteers my water bottles to refill for me, like I want the least problematic thing for them also.
Yeah.
And I have unfortunately watched more volunteers and seasoned runners fumble and fuck around with running vests, like the bladders, than anything ever in my life. Also, I hate to say it, I've watched volunteers think that they put the bladder back in correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And then like
horrible.
20 feet down the line, you see like this like runner looks like they pissed themselves. You know what I mean? Like they have water running all in. You're like, oh man, that sucks.
Yep.
So I'm not a fan of bladders. Like I had to carry a bladder for Tahoe, but like hated every second of it. And it was the only race I've ever used one for. So that's my thoughts on water bottles, bladders, all that kind of stuff. I feel like you're a similar vibe, but what's your get down with it?
So I'm all over the place. There's really positives and negatives to everything. And like you, it just depends a lot on the distance, and it depends a lot on the conditions, like where I'm at. Is there going to be regular spots for me to fill up water? If so, I'm running with water bottles. And if I don't need to carry like any layers, or if I don't need to carry a lot of nutrition, if it's a shorter run, I like wearing a waist vest and or not a waist vest, a waist pack, a belt and waist belt, and just putting the water bottles in there. Even though I hate that it's bulky and it kind of moves around a little bit when I run, and I have to tighten it so hard on my stomach. So that's the negative about that. So if I'm going for like, 6 to 10 miles, I'll use the waist belt and carry bottles, unless I need layers. If I'm doing a long training run, I love my UltraSpire vest. And the reason I love my UltraSpire vest is a few reasons. I have the mid-range vest, and it has tightening straps everywhere. Now, and it's awesome because I can tighten it around like my ribs, or I can tighten it on my chest. It's really, you can just customize it so that it's not going to move around. And I love that. And I've never had, knock on wood, I've never had chafing issues with that pack. Where I did have chafing issues with a pack was the next level up of UltraSpire, because for Fat Dog, I needed a vest. You have all this required gear, and I had to use this bigger vest. And the tightening system, it didn't have all the straps. It's just one tightening system, which sucks because it loosened up. The medium size pack was way too small for me. And then the large size pack was way too big. So I may have a pack for you if you want it. Actually,
I'll have to look and see because I think I have UltraSpire. I think that's the one I'm talking about. The other thing I really like about UltraSpire is their connectors are elasticy. So you can cinch it down pretty tight. You can cinch it down pretty nice and tight. And if you want to take a big, deep breath in, it'll flex with you. You don't feel like you're getting ready to blow out of the thing. So I really like that. So I do love my UltraSpire vest.
I'm a huge fan of UltraSpire, and the vest I have. Not only can you tighten it and it has the flex cords, there's 2 spots for water bottles in the back. Yeah, on the lower back, which is perfect for me because I don't like carrying water high up. Like, the bladder, it'll make my neck and back just like killing me.
Yeah.
But if I can carry the water bottles at like my mid back and, you know, tighten it so that the weight is around that area, it's way better for my upper back and my neck.
Yeah. As someone who falls quite a bit, and I trip and fall quite a bit. There's a lot of people who can attest to it. The water bottles on your chest, pros and cons. It is kind of nice to have that little buffer for when you fall. So that's a pro. The con is you're getting it sprayed in the fucking face. Like I have gotten sprayed in the face more times. Like so, there's pros and cons to it. But you and I sound like we're pretty well in agreement with the UltraSpires for sure. And if your body allows it, if you don't chafe from it, man, the water bottles on the lower ones, like you're talking about, that I wonder if you and I actually weirdly enough have the same UltraSpire vest.
It sounds like it.
I love it. I love it.
And it's got a pouch in the back, like pretty decent storage for a small little vest. So that's my go-to vest for all my training. And you can put a 2-liter bladder in it as well. So if I'm going somewhere where there's not much water, you know, like not frequent water stops, and I need that vest or that bladder, I can use my 2-liter bladder, which is nice. I hate the bladder for the reasons that you said.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the ass with maintenance. You know, filling it up at aid stations is terrible.
Yeah.
But, and let me tell you this nightmare story that happened to me one time with a vest, or a bladder, twice, actually, 2 nightmare stories. One, I was on a training run with Shaun and Ram at Mount Tam, and we were doing a quad Tam that day, 4 times up and down Mount Tam, huge training run. And we got to the summit on the 3rd summit, and it was a hot day, and we started running down really hot, and my bladder was leaking.
Oh, chafed out the wazoo, probably.
Well, not only that, like my shorts got heavy because they got soaked, and I didn't have water. And it was hot out, so that was nightmare story 1, bladder leak, and I didn't have like backup bottles, or I didn't fill them up, or I didn't have them with me or whatever. Anyway, the other nightmare story is Castle Peak 100K, which is out by Truckee. I got like maybe halfway through, I got to this aid station, and if you fill up a bladder too full, water gets in the seams where you put that slide over, and it gets stuck on there. And like I couldn't get it off, and I had to have water. And dude, I'm giving everything I have. Like I'm screaming, like, I'm like, do you have a hammer? Like they didn't have anything, and I ended up like banging it on a rock. I finally got it to release, but oh my god!
Hey, the belt, the belt you run, is this the UltraSpire belt that you run with every now and then?
Actually, I don't have an UltraSpire waist belt. I have a Ultimate Direction waist belt.
This belt is on a
good one.
While we're evidently being sponsored by UltraSpire, dude, this belt is phenomenal.
Yeah, and there's another UltraSpire product that we'll talk about on a future tips, tricks, and thoughts. But I swear by UltraSpire. We are not sponsored by UltraSpire. I have no vested interest. I still pay the exorbitant amounts of money for their products.
Oh my god, they're so expensive.
But they do a hell of a job. Yeah. Except for that new cinching system on their newer vests. It's terrible. And in Fat Dog, that new cinching system actually caused all the weight to be on my shoulders because it didn't put any tension on my ribs, and my neck and upper back felt broken. It was so bad. Anyway, so I'm with you. I prefer the hard bottles over the soft flasks. But I will say there is some benefits to the soft flasks. One is they don't make that like sloshing noise with water because the air is constantly sucked out of it. And two, if you can get them into those front pouches, you don't actually have to take them out to drink. You can just, suck the nipple, so to speak.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Because you squeeze it, you just squeeze it from there or something.
Yep. Or they have the straws that you can use, whatever.
So, dude, there's no way.
I'm with you though. I like the solid hard bottle. And guess what?
The straws just look ridiculous as shit. Like oh my God, I can't.
And guess what? The best water bottles ever are the Ultimate Direction old school water bottles with the kick valve.
Yes.
And they quit making them. Nobody could find them. Well, my running friend Shaun, he had bought all kinds of Ultimate Direction vests throughout the years, and he never used those bottles. He had literally like a whole cupboard full of them, and he gave them all to me. So I had like 10 new Ultimate Direction bottles with lids.
Yes.
And I always use them until they break or until they get moldy.
Yeah.
And so we moved into our new place, and I put them in this cabinet in the laundry room, and they must have stored laundry detergent or something in there. All my bottles reek like laundry detergent, and the water tastes like laundry. Like, I'm so pissed right now.
Just keep using them; it'll wash off eventually.
But anyway, so water bottles if I can, bladder if I need extra water. A convenient thing about a bladder though is you can have that hose right in front of you, so you don't have to like take the water bottle out to drink. It's convenient. You can drink while you're running. I find with water bottles that I need to like stop and walk while I drink. Handhelds are good for very short distances. You can put like one gel into the pouch. I'm a hands-free guy, so I like to have my hands free. And if I'm using poles, it's nice, to not have to worry about other stuff. So, but hard bottles first. Ultimate Direction pack where I can put the bottles in the back, lower on the back. I don't like water in the front. I used to run with that Ultimate Direction where the water bottles in the front, like the water would slosh around and just drive me nuts. And it's just annoying. I like to put my gels and stuff in those front pouches so they're easy to access. But yeah, I would say my go-to is my Ultimate Direction vest. I can put my phone right here. I can put my gels there. There's room for storage if I need to take layers or extra calories. Water bottles in the back. 2-liter bladder if I need it. And Ultimate Direction vest that I have or not Ultimate Direction, I'm sorry, Ultra Spire.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think it's called the Legacy. Yeah, it's the Ultra Spire Legacy. Yep. It's I
have the Zygos.
The Zygo? Okay. So that's the one I had problems with. Because of that, the cinching system didn't really work for me.
Let's see. Do I have? Let's see. This is. Maybe I have the momentum. Maybe I think maybe I have the momentum actually.
Okay. But yeah, so the Legacy looks like they have a Legacy 3.0 now. I don't know if that one has the water bottle holders though. Oh yeah, it looks like it does.
Oh, you know what? I do have the Zygo also. I got the Zygo. The Zygo's the one I had to get for Tahoe.
I was gonna give you my Zygo vest actually.
Yeah, it's one I had. That's one I have for Tahoe. So the one I love though, the one I like the most is that momentum. I think I had the momentum 2.0. I think Maybe, possibly. I think looks like the right one I have. I really like that vest. Yeah.
So to recap this, I think we're both on the same page that there's no one size fits all.
Yeah.
There's many different situations where many different things might work better. But you know, it's all trial and error. Everything with ultra running is trial and error, problem solving. You're always learning. But you know, like, yeah, for me, it's hard bottles. It's the Ultraspire Legacy race vest, or the Ultimate Direction waist belt if I'm doing shorter distances. But my best that's my thing. And it has loops for carrying poles too. So if you need to put the poles away, it has that. But it looks like the Legacy, 3.0, that must be a new version of the Legacy. So
I will say, whatever you decide, right? Whatever you decide to be, whatever you think you're going to run the race in is also what you should do a majority of your training in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So. All right, cool.
All right. Well, we definitely went over. I thought we would, just because that's such a big topic to talk about. But if anybody has any questions or wants to comment on the 3Ts, hit us up. Social media, all the info is in our show notes on the podcast and on the YouTube channel. So
awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Have a good one. And thanks for joining us.